All right, now for the next content type. What is a blog for SEO and why is it critical? So we're going to go through a few different examples here, but there's a few parts that are really, really important that we discuss. So a blog, everyone knows what a blog is. You write about the content that is like middle of funnel. That's like, what is X versus Y? For example, boom, effective lower ab workout for men. These are the type of articles that they're a necessary evil. You need to continue to produce content to make sure that Google is seeing this content production. They're seeing your website grow in scale. I like to kind of equate this to kind of like a real estate play, right? Let's say you're a real estate investor or you're beginning out and you really want to buy, you want to make money, period. So you basically buy a lot of little condos, apartments, or houses and you rent those out. That is almost exactly like how SEO is in my mind. Every single page is like a new little apartment or a little starter home that you're buying, and you have a bunch of them. So the more pages you make, the more amount of rental income you can get. Or in your case, it's going to be organic traffic that's going to come in. The more that you have, it also makes your portfolio of real estate stronger, which ultimately makes your website itself stronger as a topical authority on the area. So, for example, Dad Fuel sells this all-in-one, product that's it's like a meal replacement shake is actually exactly what it is. So a meal replacement shake, but it's basically designed for dads, for men. So in order to rank for that, we need to talk about everything that men might be trying to achieve for a healthy lifestyle. So that's exactly why effective lower ab workout kind of comes into play. And the way that we structure these, which we're going to get into later, but every single blog needs to have a key takeaways, kind of covering the whole point of this article. So the moment this page loads up, the key takeaways is right there. It really kind of is the main topics of this whole area. Then it goes into these also clickable assets, super critical. We'll probably go into this maybe in more detail in the future, but these are just images. That's all they are. We create these in Canva and it looks like an advert. It's something that we discovered whenever we were trying to help our clients monetize their blogs. And we're going to talk about that in a second because there's a lot of ways to do it. But one of the best ways is to basically give them something they understand, which are adverts, but adverts for your own brand. So it's something that people are used to seeing in blogs, but it's just they convert so well at the end of the day because you're ultimately talking about your own products and you're just linking them inside of your own blogs. You're weaponizing your own blog traffic. This works exceptionally well for blogs and for knowledge centers because this content, this traffic is more top of funnel. The topics are more broad, more basic. They're not coming with buying intent. If someone's looking here for the lower ab workout, I doubt that they're looking for a meal replacement shake. However, maybe they're scrolling through it and they're like, wait a second, I actually need this. I need this bad. I really love natural ingredients. I'm a man, I'm a dad, and I'm super hungry all the time. That's actually accurate for myself, and which is why I also use dad fuel. But that's a classic example of like, boom, and then they click on it, and guess where this goes? This goes exactly to the product page. So simple. So the thing about this is that you can make these for anything. We make these for ourselves, like get a free site audit, get a free downloadable Black Friday, Cyber Monday PDF, right? All these different things. This is like your bait, basically. You basically embed throughout your blogs, usually at like the 20% mark, the 50% mark, and at the 75% mark. You can have different ones. I think here we only have two, but here's another one right there. Boom. So you make variants and you can pull out your reviews. You can pull out all kinds of stuff. So for example, we also did this one for this muscle recovery device. And so we're writing about interval training because the muscle recovery device are for athletes who are trying to learn how to train better. And that's exactly what this is about. And then boom, we pulled out an influencer quote that actually about the product and does the same thing. This goes to their collection page. Then we also pulled out all the major benefits of it from the starter kit and why it's important. These are just images. You do not need a custom developer to make this. You need a Canva subscription, and you can basically create these on your own. Think of like adverts. If you're also running meta ads, then go ahead and use your statics. And use your statics right in here and just add what appears to be a button, but it is not a button. It is just a little visual part of the photo. So very simple, but I highly recommend doing this. This is, from what we've seen, like 90% better than stock images or really any other possible thing you can put on this page. This will help these blogs convert. But the blog strategy in general is about really scaling the content. So for example, we have a few THC gummy companies, and this is one of our favorite plays. It's really scaling out legalities in different areas in DC, in Tennessee, in Texas, in all these different locations. And it's basically the same structure of a page. And we just create it over and over and over again for all the different locations. So then the amount of of time and effort it takes to create these is much lower because we've systematized it. But the again, like back to the real estate play, the amount of apartments we have making revenue is just maximized. We have so many. And so that's why these like page scaling plays are so critical. If you have an e-commerce product, and their big thing you can do is your ingredients. The ingredients is a great way. You can pull out a whole ingredient glossary and blow that out, but that might be more of a knowledge center, but we'll get into that. But you could potentially cover like all the different ingredients for different use cases, etc. There's so many different angles. We even do this for local websites, like this counseling service website for like a local site. And this is how to find the best online therapy that takes insurance, right? It's the exact same concept, but you'll see the same strategies kind of across the board. The whole goal is to do something with this traffic. Traffic to the blog it's useless unless you do something with it, but it is still traffic. And that's what's critical. These are new eyeballs on your site. And depending on the terms you're ranking for, these could be the exact eyeballs you want. But if you're not delivering that 1-2 punch of having the right content, but also having the right calls to action, then they're going to leave and they're going to forget you ever existed. And we do not want that to happen. We want to make sure that we can really, really continue to remarket to them and ultimately win their business. And that's how you do it. The other thing we need to talk about, though, is how you can also turn this into traffic. Like we talked about, the call to action images, before and afters, if you're an e-commerce product or if you have a service where it's very clear you can do before and afters, like a pressure washing company. Before it was, super dirty. Now it's super clean. Commercial roofing, the roof was terrible. And now the roof is amazing and like super safe. So like all these different things. You also want to push newsletter signups. You should definitely be nurturing your leads. It's so critical. And you really want to push for these signups. So you can actually have that on your page, like how Vegamore does it, for example, a really big beauty company. And look at that, the pop-up. That was the next thing too as well. So basically making sure that you're getting this traffic somewhere and getting information out of this. They may not even be recording this, which they should be. Maybe they're not. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because they're just trying to get your email and get you engaged. They have a sticky email sign up right there too. They have a quiz to get you to go. They've got throughout this whole article, which is best gifts for every type of mom, they're littering their products throughout it. They're basically pushing for you to sign up for a newsletter. They're pushing you to take the quiz. They're doing everything they can. And this is a massive company. And yet, if they're kind of being super spammy about it, I guarantee you they're testing this. And I'm fairly certain that it just continues to work and that it's never too much. So I think that's really important to note. I mean, think about how you're looking up information on the internet. You're probably going to a lot of these crazy websites. Like if you're looking up a recipe, oh my God, how long do you have to scroll to get to the actual relevant information? Forever, through all these ads. So like a little tiny window because you have an ad up here and an ad down there. So take advantage of this and do this with your own site in areas that you know this traffic is not going to convert otherwise. And you can do this by looking at your Google Search Console, Google Analytics, and find those blogs that are driving the most organic traffic and start there. Optimize those pages. Create calls to action that match that page. If that page that's ranking is about a specific ingredient, well, make sure that your advert inside of that calls that out and talks specifically to this audience. That's going to be critical. You have to really match it. You can't have a disjointed offer with the disjointed topic. It needs to all be centralized. That's how you're going to get them to convert. That's how you're going to do the near impossible, which is make this blog traffic and monetize it. Make it do something for you. Make it put money in your pocket. So that's why blogs are important. They're a necessary evil, but when done properly, they absolutely crush it. And they're not just a means to an end. They're a way to get traffic and ultimately to push sales and to push the traffic to the right pages. So they are a very core part of our content strategy. On to the next one.